Welcome to Life in Your 20s with your host, MGD. We are here today with Matt on the next episode of the podcast. Matt, how are you doing today?
Doing good today, MG. How are you holding up today?
Doing well, man.
It's a beautiful
doing
day
well.
outside.
Yeah. I mean, very nice. Starting to get nicer, a little bit sunnier, a little bit warmer in the northeast, but I think it's still going to be a little bit more time.
Agree, especially since it snowed on Tuesday in the middle of April, so that's interesting.
Yeah, true. All right, well, Matt, we are not here to really give the weather. We're here to talk about our 20s, the good things, the bad things, the in-betweens, which I feel like your 20s is a lot of the in-betweens. Matt, can you give us just like a rundown of just stuff, your background, where you're from, what you're doing currently for work, where you're living, just a synopsis, I guess.
No, of course. So, audience, I'm Matthew. I am from South Shore, Mass, Braintree to be exact. Went to school in Rhode Island. Now I moved back in Mass in the North Shore. I work in Boston. I work in Prudential as an HR manager.
Nice. That's awesome. Also, we did not coordinate like the color purple. He said he was coming from work for the podcast, and I was
He's
like,
coming from work too.
Yeah,
so,
very true. And I was like, well, I gotta stay nice dressed up. Like, you can't like out dress me, but I think he kind of did. So good job.
I think so too.
You're supposed to be like, no, MGD. No, thanks for the introduction. And yeah, you're saying you're working in HR as a manager. How has that been? How is so you're like in your 20s. You are how old exactly?
I'm 23, almost 24 as a team lead, yeah.
So, yeah, you're a team lead. You're a manager of people. How is that being that age?
It's definitely interesting, that's for sure, because I was thrown into the role when my original team all left the company. So I was thrown into the role to essentially rebuild and revamp my HR department, essentially, because I handle the onboarding transaction for the entirety of our company, which I'll keep confidential, but we operate across 26, 28 states. And I essentially manage and lead the onboarding process for every single employee in all of those states.
Wow. Okay. And when you initially started this role, did they did you like grow within the company for this role, or is this you knew in advance like, oh, this is gonna be my role within the company?
That's a fantastic question. I didn't expect to be promoted this fast in my organization, but as more and more things came from the company in regards to like lack of leadership, lack of organization, and my experience in past roles, I just stepped up essentially.
Yeah.
I kind of just took charge, helped my original boss out with various HR functions and more senior advanced work, and here I am today.
Okay, so you more like adapted to it.
Essentially, yeah. Right now I have a new boss and a whole new team compared to when I first started in last year of 2025.
Wow. Okay. And are you managing anyone that is like older to you, and if so, how is that dynamic?
I am actually the youngest person on my team.
Wow.
I'm in my 20s, and essentially, yeah. And everyone that I work with is in their 30s, essentially.
Gotcha.
Besides my boss, who is in the West Coast and is older than me.
Okay. And have you felt like, because personally I don't manage anyone right now, but I would think that'd be weird for me to do that, and I know people in their 20s. Either later in their 20s are having that experience and maybe the same age as you is having that experience of like, hey, I need to like discipline someone, or like I need to tell someone what to do who's like double my age. Like, have you had it felt weird or anything?
It did feel weird because at least when my employees first joined, we gave them performance evaluations during their initial 9-day probationary period. So I had to evaluate their skills every 30, 60, 90 days when they first joined, figure out what some problems were, how they can improve, and whether or not we can decide to continue their employment long term, which in most cases we still kept them on past the probationary period.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah, that's the difficult conversations to have if not.
Essentially, yeah. Terminations are very sensitive and can often backfire if corporate HR or companies aren't careful.
Yeah. Would you say like you're an ambitious person like going for this, or it's just kind of happenstance jumped into this role?
Both, honestly. But I just happen to be promoted because of the company's needs and I think desires too, to be honest with you.
Sure.
And yeah, I am a very ambitious person both in and outside my work. I live in your 20s learning something that you need to do to like succeed in life. Just be open to new opportunities, be open to growth, be open to meeting new people, making new friends, and just learn other people's backgrounds and backstories and figuring out like what made them people they are today, whether it's their family, their trauma, their friends, or even just work experience as well. Like every single event happening in someone's life transformed them to the person that they are today.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, do you feel, or honestly, like when you're talking right now, like at first I was like, oh, it's gonna ask you another question, but you seem like this is a perfect. You're saying the growth and everything. Being in HR seems like the right fit for you.
I'd say so. Yeah. Like HR operations or even like sales to a certain extent, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because I loved HR when I was in school. I went to school for HR and psychology, double major, 2 degrees, not too shabby.
Okay. Nice.
And I believe those two play hand in hand with each other because you can't be a proper HR without understanding how humans work and how their mind is.
Um, and so you mentioned before like growth and everything, and I wanted to go kind of. We're gonna change topics a little bit, but
Of course, yeah.
so when you're talking about this growth, and then you're growing in literally in age, and you're right now 23, almost 24. How do you feel like navigating your 20s is going, and then also just like, are you getting to a point? Because a lot of people, well, this is I guess we'll start with that point. Like, how do you feel navigating your 20s is going right now?
I believe everyone in the 20s definitely feels a little lost and
Yeah.
even maybe confused or scared about the future. I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I'm definitely like nervous about how the future is, given how the world is, how the economy
Sure.
is, the market, even just in general, without all these external factors. Being in your 20s is the first time in your life that you have no guidance from school, no college, no clear goals
First
and
real decisions.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like no clearly defined decisions or goals or growth opportunities that you're essentially being told to do. This is our first time in our lives where we're not told to do anything. We can sit around in a job, make some money, and be content with it, and not strive to be anything else or strive to be better or
Yeah.
just achieve more with their lives, our lives.
Sure. Yeah, no, and for people navigating, you see on social media like, oh, someone just got engaged, and you're like, well, I'm living at home, like, this is my
Exactly, yeah.
Like, all right, and you feel behind.
Everyone's
but
paths are
honestly,
different.
it's just you're just navigating, and it takes time. Like, there's some people that really are like, oh, I love the 20s, like, get to go out, get to do this, went to college, and there's some people who are like,
learn,
I just
experience
want to
new
like
things.
get out of it because had a bad relationship, had a crappy job, like just
Yeah.
a bunch of different things. So you seem definitely like an optimistic person going through it.
I definitely am, yeah, because I
Nice.
believe I'm a very big a believer of the world's your oyster.
Okay.
Like I believe there's a lot of
Classic
opportunity.
saying.
Exactly, there's a lot of opportunity in the world if you have the guts and just the ability to like strive and dedication and ambition to just go out, grab it, and make your impact in the world. Because
Yeah.
I'm very big in the belief that even a singular person can make a big difference in the world.
Yeah.
I strongly believe in that, whether it's bringing people together, making an impact, helping someone, even just saying hello to some random stranger on the train
Yeah.
at work. Because even just that can help someone who's having a very crappy day feel a little better about themselves and feel happier, which could inspire them to make a difference in the future going forward.
No, I've like come out of like either meetings or just like something happened, and I've been like, oh, like that. Just kind of like that sucked or whatever. Like something happened, but then I just kind of breathe, and then I walk, and then like I've gave someone a smile, and then like they give a smile back.
Exactly,
And I
just like
instantly
that.
already feel a little bit better. Like, don't even have to say hi. So
No,
I know
yeah.
what you mean. Like
Like-
you stub your toe or something like that, and then if you just kind of
Exactly.
shake it off.
Like even if two colleagues having a bad day, you give them a little smile and nod. It's like we're in this together kind of thing.
True.
Like we're in the trenches, but we can climb out of it and shovel away out of the
Yeah.
trenches
And no,
and
there's
make it on top.
yeah. No, there's a lot of people in their 20s that is going through a lot of different struggles, and there's also people in their 20s that are like, oh, I want to get my 20s over with and get to like my 30s the next decade. Do you feel that at all?
I've actually never heard of it before, but people being in a rush to get to their 30s. And no, I don't believe I'm in a rush because you can rush through your 20s and just not do a lot with your life and just sit around. But the adventure is the journey. Like, we're all going through our individual journeys of growth, development, even just traveling journeys too, and like mental.
Yeah.
We all go through different challenges. And through this growth and this time in our 20s of uncertainty and a lack of clearly defined goals, that's where you can pressure makes diamonds. You can turn into a diamond by the time you get to your 30s.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't jump past a decade just like that. It takes a decade to truly grow and to be a true 30-year-old person.
Yeah.
You got to live that life and live through all these experiences. Try new things, meet new people, make new friends, make new connections, or just bring people together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
it'll mature you into your 30s rather than just a dumb 20-year-old post-college.
Yeah.
Like you and I were, MG.
Yeah. No, Matt, like honestly, that's very truthful, and I feel that there's a lot to go through in that journey, and you get better from it. You learn stuff. You
Precisely.
learn from the mistakes and everything associated with it, like bad breakups and all that. I guess I was saying it in the perspective that there's some people that, like, when it gets to a certain point, you're like, well, I already want to be dating somebody. Like, I already want to be, like, married. I already want to have, like, a kid. I want to just, like, kind of get past the grind part of it. But I think it's a really good point.
The
It's
grind's
like,
important.
You want the journey. Yeah, you want to see how you get to it. You want to see your brain fully develop.
Yeah, because mine definitely isn't developed yet. I'm still in my early 20s, and it's like 26, 28 where your brain's fully developed, I believe.
Okay.
I think so, yeah, because if you want to get married this fast, and you can't rush through a marriage, you have to build yourself to be ready for a marriage or a long-term commitment or even a more advanced job. You got to keep building yourself, build your character, your skills, even just your emotional intelligence, for example,
Right.
and being more empathetic towards your partner and your friends, and just being forgiving as well.
Yeah. And, like, with a partner, like, you're going to be loving them more and more, like, over time, right? Like, you don't want to just skip a point. Like, ideally, that's what you should want to be like, okay, like, you're having a great time with them. You want to go through a bunch of different experiences, not skip it. I do understand, though, like, oh, man, I don't have my stuff figured out. I want to, like, skip 5 years in the future to be like, oh, how did I do it? I can understand that point, but I think there is some great things to go through the struggle. You get to learn a lot about yourself, and
exactly.
you also get to get a lot of great experiences. So,
no, of course, like, you can't rush love or marriage. It has to come to you naturally. Even if you want to skip 5 years in the future, like, those 5 years only matter in how old you are. But in terms of experience and how much you've been through, like, those 5 years can change you tremendously. You can't just flash forward or time skip 5 years from now and expect things to be different.
Yeah.
Because you could be the same person as you are before the time skip. Those 5 years of wanting to get married and have kids, like, you need to go through that 5 years of experience.
True.
Of learning, learning lessons.
Having a baby.
Yeah. Even the pressures of having a kid and understanding about even your parents too, about mistakes they've made and what they've done correctly. Even things you didn't appreciate growing up that you appreciate now in your 20s post grad.
Yeah.
Even, like, at least when I was a kid, like,
it makes sense when you say it like that, but I think it's a very difficult thing to grasp. Being like, I'm still honestly on the point of, like, you are managing people like a bunch older than you. I mean, it's just that, at least not for me, a personal experience. So it's very cool that you're able to do that.
It's very unique. Like I said, everyone has their unique experiences. Like, my post-grad journey is definitely very unique given this volatile history of jobs, honestly.
Yeah.
And given the current economy and the job market, it makes sense that everyone's journey is a little more disruptive and chaotic. Like, I definitely appreciate things like my mom, my dad did for me, like Easter egg hunts or Halloween parties with me and my friends. And looking back at it in my 20s, I'm like, dang, that was really awesome. My parents do that for me. They gave me a good childhood.
Yeah.
A lot of fun memories to remember on when I'm stuck in a cubicle at work, for example.
True. To the perspective of, I've been gone on trips, since graduating college and, like, gone with some friends, and I've, like, seen how much it costs, and I was like, wow, my parents, like, paid for this and was, like, willing to do it. And, like, we went on nice trips, not like a ton of crazy ones, but we went on trips, and I was like, wow, like, my parents paid for that. Where they had to do all this logistics stuff. Like, I didn't realize how much went into it.
Yeah.
Like, all the costs of even just, like, going to a restaurant.
The itineraries, hotel costs, if things go wrong.
Oh, yeah. The kid throws up, like, what are you gonna do? Like, yeah, you have to factor it in for planning, and you don't want to have too much planning where you're getting, like, we missed this by 15 minutes, it's over. But you do want to have some backups if something goes awry.
Which, funny you mention that, actually. That's something I'm actually trying to do in my personal life. Not plan as much and just let things happen.
Okay.
Take things slow, take a step back, and just see what happens rather than be meticulous planning to achieve goals by certain times. Just live more in the moment and try and experience all life has to offer.
Nice. And so what, like, caused that switch to, like, be, like, very more carefree? Was there
honestly more so like mental health, and then I put a lot of pressure on myself younger to succeed in life and to essentially be successful.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, no one's successful in their 20s. No one, like, to the extent that you dream to be when you're in college, post grad, you want to six-figure job post-grad. You want to be an achiever. You want to manage a whole team, a whole process. It's hard to explain, but in regards to that, like you can't put a lot of pressure on yourself because you'll rush, you'll make more mistakes, and those mistakes will, again,
Sure.
you slow down, you can learn from those mistakes and build your character up even more so to be ready for that big job in the future with the six-figure salary and the VP title.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're not chasing anyone. You're not competing against anyone. Everyone is on, like you mentioned before, on their own path.
Exactly, yeah.
And you're basically competing against yourself.
Exactly,
so it's like, okay,
yeah.
if
That's
you don't
exactly
give
what I was
yourself
thinking,
a timetable, like, you can be totally fine. And I think that there's sometimes we're always thinking we're like, oh, like, they're doing this, like I have to be doing this. It's like, well, no, they're in a totally different spot. You're not in a race with anyone.
Yeah, plus they can be 5 years older than you, for example, as well, and you don't know that.
Yeah, and something also I've like thought of recently is like I've seen, on LinkedIn, you see a bunch of promotions, right? But really, when you look at them and you like, oh, they were in a similar role and then they got promoted. You don't know though if it's like more of a half promotion at that company rather than a full promotion, right? If it's not as big of a jump as it is at your company, you don't know if they were making less than salary. You don't know the benefits. You don't know if they're working 80 hours. Don't know any of that. So I think that is something I'm literally speaking to myself and to other 20-year-olds to think of that of like, hey, like,
don't be so hard on yourself.
You're not competing against other people.
Yeah.
Like, they can be a whole different thing, even though it might look glamorous. Not always glamorous.
Yeah, plus, believe it or not, people on the internet do lie, Marty, or exaggerate the truth.
Stop.
I know, dude. I know.
Actually?
I know. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to break it to you, but like, people can often just like
wow,
just glaze themselves on LinkedIn and just try and like
have to
bust themselves out to get the LinkedIn cloud.
Yeah. No, and it is 100%.
Which is exactly why I don't like social media like that. To be honest, even like Instagram, things like that. Like, I feel like you're trying to prove something to yourself and others that you're the big dog, you're the man. If you keep posting all your accomplishments, all those trips you go to.
Yeah.
Where in reality, you're not treasuring that internally with like your memories or just how fond you look back in the past.
Yeah.
You essentially post these fun memories to Vegas and Miami online, rather than being in the moment and treasuring what you're experiencing with your friends, family, or your partner. Just have fun with the boys or even with the girls at that point as well. Just be yourselves.
Yeah.
Just who cares what everyone else thinks? As long as you're happy and your friends and family love you, who cares at this point? To be honest with you.
Do you feel? I mean, it's sounding like you don't, but like, do you feel that pressure for like posting on social media or like just being like, oh, I must like take a picture of this. I gotta like prove something or like just show like, oh, I'm having a good time. It doesn't seem
I never did, to be honest.
No?
Like, I post like good views, things. I want people to check out like gyms or like hiking trails. But like, I don't post like myself that often.
Okay.
I just post scenic views and stuff like that.
Okay. So more of a artsy kind of, less about yourself, more of just things you've liked and you're recommending to people.
Essentially, yeah. Because I try to take a lot of photos, especially because one thing I didn't do much better in the past, I'm trying to do now, is to take photos to have memories to look back on 5-10 years from now.
Yeah.
Because even like right now on my phone, I have photos in like high school that almost a decade years old now.
Yeah, you're gonna look back
like,
on
them
eventually
wow,
and be like, wow.
Like I was young back then. We were also innocent, and the world didn't. We didn't experience the world full force yet.
Yeah.
Because we were in our bubbles of high school and college.
So Matt, speaking of high school, since you just mentioned it,
of course, MG.
When you were in high school, did you feel like there was some class that you were looking for and you just didn't quite get it? Like, was there something you wanted to learn in high school that like you think high school students basically should know?
I wasn't really thinking about this at the time, but definitely there should be more of a life skills component based in high school. Like, learn how to invest, how to buy a house, how to pay your taxes.
Sure.
Even just cooking class, like even like required home ec for males as well, because if you're out on your own, post-grad with your parents, you gotta know how to cook. You can't rely on DoorDash to sustain your needs without burning a hole in your credit card or your wallet or your savings, because it is expensive. And cooking's a good skill to have to feed yourself, be healthy. The good skills to learn that should be taught in school that aren't being. And I believe because of that and how old school the education system is, we're kind of failing our youth by not teaching them essential life skills.
Right.
In a way.
So you feel like they're lacking that. Like there's something, those kind of, it might be seem basic to some people, but some people don't know about it.
Exactly,
so they need to be taught it. Yeah.
Even like communication skills or how to resolve an argument between two friends, for example. Like students and kids should be taught that because they need to grow up to be responsible adults.
Yeah.
They need to know how to buy stuff, pay off their credit cards, basic finances, how to save, how to open up bank accounts.
For sure.
Even like helping kids learn how to drive as well. For example, like in the public school systems, not just the paid stuff outside of school. I don't know if other towns have that, but my town didn't have any driving course for it.
No,
We had nothing.
I had a course, but for like driver's ed, but you had to pay. You know, you had to pay through
Pay extra,
the school.
yeah,
So,
exactly, yeah.
There wasn't anything like through the school,
Yeah.
but you're saying that could be like basically a class. You take.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
should help out kids learn how to drive because they need to do that for when they're an adult. Unless you're in a big city like New York, Boston, even like DC, I think like we don't need to have your license, but like it's still good to like learn if you're like
Right.
in like a town somewhere or a suburb.
Like and also like all right, you might not need a car or something, but you get to a point where it's still a good life skill to have. Like I don't know, maybe it'll be needed. I mean, in your 20s, people drink, and you could be having to be the DD or something.
Yeah, like even
You have to have your license.
even teaching kids stuff like that is essential because we're kind of failing America's youth and America's future workers because we're not teaching them essential life skills they need to be learning during that key developmental age.
Yeah.
Because of that, like I believe like that's part of why some not boomers but like older people think that our generation is kind of like entitled or failure. We don't work as hard because partly it's because we're trying to take care of ourselves more, but it's also partially because the system failed us honestly because we did all the right things. You went to school, we worked hard, studied, got grades. We were led to believe, oh, we'll be successful. We can buy a house if we work hard in the next 10 years. And many people my age have no desire to ever buy a house or own property because they simply don't believe they can afford to because of how much all the prices have been increasing by, like property values, food, gas, and how less the common Americans being paid as well, and how much the wealth gap is increasing.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
insane, and it's going to keep getting worse unless there's like a major change.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I don't see happening.
Yeah, which will lead to more people to like suffer and lead more like men to not take care of themselves or lead to more mental health crises like depression or suicide as well.
That's sad.
Yeah, and it's because the system is essentially failing us. In America, at least. It could be international viewers in India, UK, Europe, or Spain for all I know.
Yeah.
Spain's in Europe.
Yeah.
But
No, I got you.
exactly, yeah. But at least in America.
It took me a second. I was like, wait, yeah, he just.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Essentially, the system is failing us because we're not being taught key skills at life's age, at an early age.
Got you. Yeah. No, and also, you were making the point too. It was like, oh, like a lot of people don't think they're gonna buy a house. The American dream. I do feel a lot of people that don't think it's plausible anymore. Or it's just
Agreed,
too much of a stretch, or it's not. It could be doable, but you're putting in way too much effort, and you're not getting the result it used to be in the past. Like both parents are still working.
Agreed.
Maybe working 2 jobs and putting in a lot of effort to get a house that's maybe not worth it.
No, agreed. Like my father, my grandparents immigrated from Italy back in the 1900s because of the American dream. All the streets are paved with gold in America.
Yeah.
Which, in a not a literal sense, but like in like a spiritual sense, or like a saying, like they are paved with gold because of the opportunity and wealth there is in this country, and there's still vast opportunities for wealth and potential. It's just.
Do you feel also when you're said grandparents came from Italy? Do you feel like you have that like heritage passed down to you? Do you feel like it's something that like you're like going to pass on to your future kids, or like something you have the pressure?
Agreed.
You have to do.
Yeah, because being in my 20s now, I'm a lot more appreciative of what my parents, even my grandparents, did for our family.
Yeah.
My grandfather is a member of the Carabinieri, which is essentially an Italian like police force. I'm not sure if it's like a commando or like a elite police force, like SWAT team, for example. But he was still a cool, tough guy. He was built different. He lived way into his older 90s too, and he was happy as a clam. He loved my father. He loved his wife till the very end. He loved us as well. Going when we were kids, and I still remember his voice whenever we visited his house, screaming, "Oh, Matthew, how are you?" Just hearing his voice and
just that happy.
And because they were fresh out of the boat, so they never learned much English, but they did for me and my brother because they loved us so much.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they wanted to communicate, and they wanted to talk to us more and communicate with us better.
Yeah. Nice.
And it made me admire like how much they did and sacrificed for my father and myself, and how much I want to still believe in the same dream that he did.
Yeah.
And the fact that I still somewhat do believe in it, but unless things change, it's not going to be possible for like my kids or my kids' kids, for example.
Yeah.
Like it still is possible for our generation, but it's a lot tougher than it was, and not as fair as it was compared to where our parents growing up.
Yes.
wealth
But
gap, inflation, especially is a part of it.
yeah,
We have compared to how my parents and my grandparents have
sure.
has reduced tremendously. And because of that, we aren't learning as much. We can't grow as much or provide for families as much as we could in the past
Yeah.
because of the wealth gap and inflation.
That's
Unfortunately,
true. Yeah, it's. I think it's something that's just gonna keep. Um, I'm hoping it doesn't keep getting worse, but yeah, like you're.
I
Kind
think
of
it
on that mindset,
will.
It's just
Yeah,
that gap is gonna keep getting
exactly.
worse.
Like you have to hope it'll get better. You have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not. Gonna fall into not a good state of mind.
Yeah.
And a lot can change within 5 years or 10 years. Like it's just bad during this current period of time in 2026, for example.
Right. Looked at your watch for the year.
Yeah. Oh,
just caught you.
Exposing me.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just.
Old habits. No, but like things can change tremendously within 4 years. Like even like 6 years ago in 2020, there was COVID. It was a pandemic. We were all stuck inside our houses. Now in 2026, COVID's still around, but it's not as bad anymore. A lot can change within 6 to 5 years, for example. Things could be a lot better in the next decade, for all we know.
True.
Maybe the wealth gap will be not a lot better, a lot more affordable for a common American worker.
Yeah.
Compared to how it is now. People barely getting by, paying expensive tuition, student loans.
Yeah. And yeah, like I mean, that was something I think when I did mention that point of like, oh, like people want to skip to their 30s. It's partly, they might think, oh, it'll be better. This
exactly,
be better
yeah.
So there is
pressure makes diamonds, though. Unfortunately, like things are tough now, but you have to have hope in yourself and hope. You just be there for your friends and your family because we're all going through our own problems. I know I certainly have problems on my end. You probably have some as well.
Sure.
The great extent of that problem, I don't know, but every person is suffering in their own way. We're all going through various things like job problems, loss, having problems with your partner. The important thing is, as humans, like everyone's so disconnected these days. It's important that we have to be there for each other and help each other out.
Yeah. No, and
be someone to lean on. Just be honorable and respectful to your fellow man.
Yeah.
Because we're all going through similar struggles in the past, present, or even the future.
Yeah, beautifully
put. Be empathetic. Thank you,
wow.
MG.
No, sorry to cut you off before.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
No, I think there's sometimes I've thought of this podcast. I'm like, okay, I want to be it, like learning, like people hear it and they like, oh, I'm not alone, I'm learning and stuff. And then I was like, well, it'd be an event podcast as well, like people just getting it off. But right now, I think I'm definitely more of the educational side. But I think also you can learn a lot with venting and even just speaking out your problems.
Of course,
like, wow, okay, all right. Like now I have confidence because this person also has this issue. You know what? Like, maybe if you do some Googling, they can find something on Reddit. Like someone else also has gone through this and maybe they have the solution.
Precisely.
When they've gotten older or honestly
either way,
later in their 20s.
You're doing what you should be doing now. You're trying to make an impact, make a difference in the world, put yourself out there, be strong, and make an impact and help those who need it, especially those who feel lost in their 20s like you or I may or may not be.
True. Yeah. So kind of switching topics now, but we talked about it a little bit, and it's to, if you're going to get something successful, you're going to like try to get a goal, you got to have good habits, right?
Yes.
So for you, you're 23, you're getting into your 20s. What is some habit that is like your best habit right now in your 20s, or one you're trying to develop to like be later in your 20s, or like to get to that point?
At least for me, definitely practice self-care and learn how to invest in myself. Whether it's like learn how to invest in stocks, eating healthy food, learning new skills, keep my mind active, my body active, going for runs, lifting weights, and taking care of myself if I need it. Like,
active mentally and physically.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Like if you feel like crap at the end of the day, you don't want to do anything but stay in bed all day. You can stay in bed for one time to work for the entire day. Like, they got to take care of yourself at the end of the day.
Like some tough days, some tough moments, for sure.
And those times, you can't force yourself to be happy, be better. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches and just relax, decompress, lay down your bed. Don't ask for a pint of ice cream if you want, responsibly, not often.
All right, good save.
Pay $20 for the pint of ice cream if you really want that pint of ice cream, but don't overdo it. You still got to practice discipline and self-care, but if you're really going through it, take care of yourself. That's one thing that I'm trying to do, is take care of myself and learn to roll with the punches.
Yeah. And how would you say, like, because I know that's, like, it's tough to say that as, like, a habit. I know, like, it's kind of a very, like, if I had a tough day from work, then I, like, adjust, right? You can't just, like, I'm just generally going to be like, I'm going to the gym every day, like, no matter what. So I guess when is it, like, I can't go to the gym or I can't do this because, like, I need a self-care day? Like, do you have a, like, something that you know that you're like,
No,
I have to do that?
that's the thing, MG. I don't know. What you gotta do is be in tune with yourself and your emotions and your body and determine what does my body need today. If I need to go to the gym, if I'm feeling a little out of shape, I go to the gym. If I'm feeling exhausted, I feel like the weight of the world's pushing down on me.
Yeah.
I take it easy, take a breather, call some friends.
Good. Yeah.
Have some
I
fun
think
with the- have
I
some-
think
have fun
phone
with the
calls,
boys, you know?
scheduling phone calls is huge.
Exactly.
I think that's a
One
great
thing in
to do.
20s, if working post grad, you need to schedule.
Yeah.
Schedule time with your friends, schedule like gym
In
times,
general, yeah.
calendar. Like right now, I merged all my calendars, so I know
There you go.
everything going on my phone because I'm gonna forget stuff. Who
Yeah.
not gonna forget stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
everything happens. There was a friend I was recently supposed to do a scheduled phone call with, an old work colleague, and we both forgot.
Exactly.
And
Things
it
get
was-
busy in our 20s.
Yeah, and like literally, they texted me like a week later, and they're like, "Hey, we forgot about our phone call." I was like, "Oh my god, yeah!" Like just totally, I didn't write
No,
it down,
yeah.
and then we both wrote it down.
just
and now we're
happens.
gonna do it coming up.
Is everyone's focused on their jobs, some goals, friends, partners, loved ones?
Yeah,
Like sometimes you lose touch because everyone's just trying to build a life for themselves.
And you were saying too, like also having that like mental health, like pint of ice cream kind of thing, and I feel I have difficulty with like canceling plans. Like even if I'm like, I'm not totally feeling it, usually still do it. How
Then
do you do with that?
It really depends how I feel. Like again, listen to your body, MG. Like if you're feeling tired, you're not gonna have fun going out with your friends, just cancel. Lie on the couch, watch a TV show you mean to watch for a while.
Yeah.
Just veg out, decompress, because we work full time, and you and I both
True.
we're both very ambitious. We have side stuff going on. We both want to like learn as much as we
Trying to,
can.
thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if you have plans you don't want to go to and you feel bad, like if your friends are real friends, they'll get it. They'll know,
understand.
hey, this
Yeah,
guy's
I definitely
this
need to
guy
know
is
that more.
working his butt off.
Yeah.
Like we know he has to take a chill break, so if he needs to call out for this night at the boys, he can totally call out.
True.
We can always drop by, say hi to him like later as well.
Yeah,
Check
yeah,
his
yeah.
place, bring her pizza or something.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a great
It really
call.
depends on your friends, honestly. It really does. Like if they're respectful and they know you, they'll know. He's not. It's nothing personal. It's just he's not feeling the best today.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll give him a call, see how he's doing later on.
Yeah. You're just like getting like too used to it, because like or getting to people get used to other people canceling because it happens from time to time, and also like think about it. There's sometimes like I feel like there was one time like I was like, oh, like hey, I'm not really feeling like. I'm just kind of had a long day at work or whatever. And then my friend was like, don't worry. Like, I was honestly about to cancel on you. So, like, sometimes
No,
that happens
exactly.
too.
Like, as long as you communicate and say,
Yeah.
and don't ghost them like, oh, I'm not going to go, and
And
nothing
don't
else.
say anything.
That's
Just
crappy. Like,
phone
if
turn
you,
off.
yeah, if you say, hey, I had a long day at work today, my boss yelled at me, I'm not really feeling going out today, so I'm going to cancel today. I'm sorry, guys. We can plan out things up for next week.
True.
The difference in those two responses are a lot better because the first one is
better.
just blunt, to the point, and kind of disrespectful. But if you explain, like, hey, I'm not feeling good today, my boss yelled at me, I want to go out today, then that totally makes sense. As a true friend, you understand that because you've probably been there as well in the past.
True.
We've all had crap days at work where you miss a loss that we have to cancel plans on because we just don't feel that good.
Yeah.
If they're a true friend who respects you and like knows knows emotion, but has the emotional intelligence to understand and emphasize what you're going through, they'll get it, no problem.
Yeah,
They're not feeling it in the future. If you had a crap day at work, just text them, say, hey, hey Jordan, I'm sorry, man. My day at work sucks.
Sure.
My
Whatever.
parents are going through something. There's a health
Sure,
problem. My
yeah.
family. I can't hang out today. I got to take care of myself.
Yeah.
They'd get that. If they're your true
Yeah.
friend, they get that.
I like that.
And if
Appreciate that, man. That's
and
good advice.
if they take offense to that, then they really worth having around in your life? Not
Sure.
really. Yeah.
No, I mean I think there does come times where it's like, okay, if it's a really like whatever, we've been scheduling this for months and it's like like a non-refundable, like super expensive, and it might be like, all right, maybe like you tough it out if you're not like super set.
Yeah,
but
or just cover the expenses.
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point too.
It takes both ways. You gotta be respectful to yourself and to your friends.
No, that's a great
Yeah.
point.
Long story short, give notice and give a reason, and you should be totally okay. And your friends should be totally okay with that if you provide those two reasons.
Yeah.
If you just ghost them or blunt about it, then I get when they take offense. I
No,
get it.
100%.
Which I don't think you do. You're a respectful guy. You give notice. You
I appreciate
provide a
that.
reason why
I
you
feel
cancel.
like I try to.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what a decent person does.
True. Yeah. Well, Matt, I want to say thank you very much for for coming on the podcast. And
Of course,
being here.
MGD.
I
It's been
appreciate
a
it very
true
much.
pleasure, honestly.
The last question I just like to ask every guest, just something you want to leave with people, just advice or just something you want to leave people in their 20s, just basically your closing remark. I know you gave a lot of great advice today and a lot of great points, so Yeah, just anything that like last point that comes to mind.
No, of course. Come straight from the heart. No script in my hand, as you can attest. Just
True.
just go along with the journey. See what happens in your life. Be kind. Make an impact. Try to be the person that you wish your kid version yourself could look up to in the future. Be the person that can make a difference, can make an impact in people's lives, and just spread good and inspire others to do the same.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, just make an impact and just go along the journey. See what happens. Be open-minded. Experience new things. Meet new
I love it.
people. Make a difference.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. It's
That's
simple
awesome.
words, but it's words
Yeah.
that I try to live by.
Yeah.
Because of that, I'm happy with my journey, and I don't want to rush through it.
Yeah, it's all detailed, but it definitely has a common.
Exactly.
I
And
love it.
because of that, I don't want to jump forward in 6 years to my 30s. I want to experience life and see what
True.
I can learn, what impact I can make in the world, my friends and family and loved ones around me.
True. I love it.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, no, and thank you for being on the podcast.
It was
All
a
right.
pleasure, yeah.
Yeah. All right, homie G's, thank you for listening. Life in Your 20s with MGD.
Take
Thanks.
care, everyone.